Yeah.
Over here holding 2 books up.
Yeah, I noticed you said previously that you had a lot of martial art experience. What is it, and how much do you actually have to look into write your books? Like how much more research?
Okay, how much martial arts experience do I have, and where is it, and how much more do I look into it for the books? My martial arts experience was started with a style called Ryukyu Kempo, which is an Okinawan style. Most of my training is in a variant of Goju Shoryu that was concentrated on street fighting, and had a lot of stomp on their foot, kick them in the knee, don't get sand thrown in your face kinds of moves. I've also studied some Taekwondo, Shaolin Kung Fu, enough Aikido to know that I wouldn't be very good at it. I'd like to get some Krav Maga in, but I haven't found time to do it yet. And a bunch of fencing, which actually is a martial art, even if, you know, it's kind of old. Yeah, huzzah! As far as looking into it for the books, really one of the more instructive things for the stories that I found was a book called Baseball Bats, Pool Cues, and Bike Chains by, I can't remember the name of the guy. His name is, like, I think it was Mad Dog something, but I mean it's a very practical guide to how violence really tends to work in the world, and how how unpredictable it is, and how much you really have to be focused on knowing how to do that if you want to go actually engage in any violence with any amount of skill. I'm not a skillful martial artist. I'm an enthusiastic martial artist. There's a difference. Yeah, right here.
There was a lack of Mouse in this book. Are we going to have more of him, or is he just going to be protecting Maggie from now on?
There's a lack of Mouse in this book. Are we going to have more of him, or is he going to be protecting Maggie from now on? And the answer to that is yes.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, Mouse was one of those characters that I wanted to create so that Dresden had kind of a home security system. Because otherwise, there were more and more of these bad guys coming that would just kill him in his sleep. It's like, oh wait, there's a foo dog there. That isn't going to work. Right here.
Is he going to get Bob back, or is Bob going to stay with Butters?
Is he going to get Bob back, or is Bob going to stay with Butters? I'm not going to tell you. See, thank you. You're getting on with it with me. Thank you.
There are several authors that I've followed very sensitive about IP and people pretending to be characters on various forms. And I've noticed that a lot of the folks following on Twitter, they talk to you, they use your characters. In fact, I've been started counting how many copies of them and going back and forth, and they're talking about talking to themselves and how crazy that feels. How come you're so generous about that?
How come I don't mind it when people are doing things like playing my characters on Twitter, and how come I'm not savagely defending my intellectual property? I never really thought that these books would be all that successful, and well, no, seriously, especially the first 4 or 5 years, I would go to signings and nobody would show. I would go to readings and nobody would show. And yeah, I know.
Making up for it now. Making up for lost time.
And so, the idea for me for doing these books is that people should read the books and have a good time. That's the point. If I then started jumping all over people who were just having a good time while they were waiting for the next book, the folks that were out there, role-playing Harry Dresden on boards and on Twitter, what kind of jerk would I be to do that? I mean, those are my most rabid and proselytizing fans. Why in the world? Purely from a mercenary standpoint. I mean, seriously, just from my own sense of self-advantage, why would I kick these people in the face and say, no, stop doing that, that's my stuff? It doesn't make any sense, and really, besides, they're having a good time. That was the point of the books. Let's do more of that, and I think we'll be all right. I think everybody will survive it. But let's see, back here, red wristband.
Two questions. How do you justify that it's not a cliffhanger? Did Mount lie?
Okay, how do I justify that the end of Changes as not a cliffhanger? And I will tell you this, sir. Here was the story. Harry Dresden sets out to rescue his daughter, even if it costs him his life, and it does. The end. from the perspective of the storytelling format, that is not a cliffhanger because you know the end of it. Of course, I do sometimes forget that not everybody else knows the whole rest of the story. Sorry. The second one, did Mab lie? Mab did not lie. Mab was wrong, which is there's a subtle difference to that at the end of Ghost Story. As far as Mab's concerned, she's telling the truth because she's telling the truth from her experience as she knows it. Dresden, however, he's getting an earful of truth on a more cosmic level. So we'll see how that plays out a little bit more in the next book. Let's see, right here with all the bracelets. Oh, that's Kira. Yeah, hi. How you doing?
Good. Julie told me to say hi to you.
Okay.
Are we gonna find out why you like the name Maggie so much, Margaret?
Are we gonna find out why I like the name Maggie so much? If you do, or Margaret, if you do find out, let me know. Because then that way maybe I'll have a better idea. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of the names I just name names.
I mean, we're gonna find out the correlation that it's used more than once in the series. Margaret.
Maybe. It very well could be. I'm not sure. Right next to her, or up a row. Yeah, you.
Oh, can we expect a short story from Molly's point of view ever?
Can we expect a short story from Molly's point of view ever? Almost certainly. I would probably write it from some point while she was busy being the crazy lady who defended Chicago. So actually she's still doing that. So as of now, right here, purple shirt.
You mentioned several times through the books that using the wizard's sight irresponsibly can drive you mad. Has that happened to anyone that we've seen in the continuity, and what does happen to someone who gets driven mad by their sight?
Okay, I've said several times in the books that if you use your wizard sight irresponsibly, it can drive you nuts. What happens to the people whom it drives nuts, and have we ever seen that in the series? You read changes, right? Yeah, too much truth in the face of somebody who is genuinely sincere about their beliefs often pushes them to do really extreme things, like wiping out entire races of vampires. So yeah, you are seeing it to some degree, but at the same time, while the truth can be painful, it's usually while the truth is painful, it's also liberating, and unfortunately, though, sometimes it liberates you of your sanity. But that's the best answer I can give you. With the hat up.
So after the end of changes, is it possible that it seems that we've seen the last of Susan? Is it possible she left a ghost of some kind that we might encounter later?
Is it possible that Susan left a ghost that we might encounter later? No, probably not. Not with that much energy flying around when she died. I hope. I don't like to do the "they're dead, they're not dead, they're dead, they're not dead" thing too often, because then it's no fun. So just assume Susan is dead and gone. Although this might not be the last time we see her, now that I think of it. I'll have to check my notes. Holding up the octopus, I think.
This one may be a little spoilerific. After the end of changes and what we learned, what exactly was Ebenezer doing in that 6-month period and during Ghost Story? Because you kind of expect him, given what we learned in changes, to be doing something.
Yes, he was doing something. What was Ebenezer doing between changes and Ghost Story? He was doing stuff. But since Dresden hasn't found out about it, none of y'all can know about it either, because it's all told from Dresden's point of view. That's one of the unfortunate limitations of writing in first person. If this was a Lara, I'd be showing you other things that were going off on the sidelines, because then it's a third-person book. But, right here.
This is probably, you're not going to tell us, but Pharaohbax. Is he going to be back anytime soon?
Is Pharaohbax going to be back anytime soon? Nah, not till the very end.
Okay.
Not in the actual trilogy, but probably the very last of the case books will feature in a minute. Okay, right here.
Was Max beer modeled after any specific beer?
Was Max beer modeled after any specific beer? No, I don't drink. I had to go to my drinking friends and say, you have to tell me what good beer is like, and they would write me explanations of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ebenezer's the Blackstaff, and we learned that the Blackstaff is not a nickname but a title. Rashid is the gatekeeper. Is that a nickname or a title?
Ebenezer's the Blackstaff, and we found out that it's not a nickname. It's not a nickname. It's a title, and it's also an object. Is the gatekeeper? Is that a nickname or a title? It is a title. Just so you know.
Is it an object?
Well, just him. Yeah, right here.
At one point, do you decide that Harry's odds are stacked enough, high enough against him? Because I'm always like, oh my god, one more thing, really?
At one point, do I decide that Harry's odds are stacked high enough against him? I'll let you know when I get there. Yeah.
You're probably not going to explain this one. Harry's pentacle necklace. Thomas had one like it. Why didn't Thomas try and track his body?
Harry's pinnacle necklace. Thomas had one like it. Why didn't Thomas try and track his body? You can't use the magic through that much water.
Okay.
Unless you're a water mage, but you know, nobody called Ancient Joe. So anyway, okay, we got time for maybe a couple more, and then we're gonna start signing, and hopefully I can get everybody out of here before midnight.
You got one way in the back over there, John.
Let's see. Let's go back here on the left. Yeah.
Okay. Out of all the Dresden files, which one?
Oh, here. Right. Well, ladies first, then we'll do you. Okay.
Okay. Out of all the Dresden Files novels, which one was the most difficult one that you had to write?
Of the Dresden Files novels, which was the most difficult one I had to write? It's a toss-up between Death Mask, which I had to write while we were moving across country, and this most recent one, which I had to write when Harry couldn't just start kicking down doors and blowing things up. It was very hard to make that character try and do things in a more indirect and subtle fashion, and yet still be himself. It took a while. And yeah, now you. Molly seems to be doing a whole bunch of very close to black magic stuff. Is she getting like totally corrupted? Well, what's corrupted mean? Yeah, she's playing around with some nasty stuff, and it's only a matter of time before that catches up to her. On the other hand, she's doing things she knew Dresden would have done if he could have done them, so it's all Harry's fault. All right, guys, thank you very much for putting up with me.
Thank you.
If you still got a question that you're just dying to know the answer to, ask me real quick when we come up here. I'll try and give you a quick answer while we're signing books.